Fate versus free will is one of the biggest debates in the astrology community. If our birth charts show our fate and the things that are predetermined to happen to us, do we truly have any control over our reality? Do we really have free will? I'm not going to fake. I really don't believe that we have much free will, because even when you think about us making a choice, those choices can still be, like, everything can be seen in your birth chart. And I really truly believe that, we don't have control over anything. We are just assigned, our lives. These are the cards that we're dealt, and you just got to play your hand and roll with it. That's it. That's all. That's the reason why. And I think Kira Ryberg, in this episode of her podcast, she talked about, the example she gave was, think about a mother with 3 children who has 3 jobs and works her ass off. But then you think about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos didn't work any harder than that mother did, but it was destined for Steve Bezos. It was destined for Jeff Bezos to be a billionaire, whereas it was destined for that single mother to be working her ass off and not really getting anything from it. And this podcast episode, Threads of Fate, is the podcast by Kira Ryberg, one of the astrologers that I love down. She discusses fate versus free will, and we have some of the same sentiments, and that's why I wanted to share this podcast, because if you have a question about the debate, or if you want to just hear some astrological insight from a professional astrologer who's really been doing it, I would definitely recommend tapping into this episode. And then what I thought was interesting, she talked about how the ways that, you can kind of try to control your own fate would be to use electional astrology, which is starting something at a certain time when the astrology is good, because the time that you start something will kind of guarantee what that experience will be. So if you start something at a positive time, then you can kind of elect that experience will be positive. That's kind of a form of control that we have. And then she also mentioned like magic and witchcraft as, doing those types of things as a way to kind of control your own reality. But even with that, she mentioned the fact that, you can still elect something and it's still like, there's never going to be a perfect election. And even with magic and witchcraft, all of that stuff is testy. Like, you could do a spell, you could do a ritual, and you might not get the results that you want. And even with that, you still can't out elect, or you still can't use magic to make something happen for you that was never going to happen in your fate. So definitely recommend checking out the Threads of Fate podcast by Kira Ryberg. You can listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts. But yeah, I thought that this was a really good podcast episode, and I wanted to share it with y'all.